What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about some fun shit. We're going to be talking about how the fact that God isn't outside of you, okay? That's a heavy thing to know for many of you who believe that God is a white man with a beard who doesn't like it when you masturbate. But the truth is, you can totally masturbate, and sometimes you can even masturbate in front of other people, and they like it. It's weird. Okay, but moving on from that, God isn't outside of you. Now, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it the universe, you can call it spirit, you can call it the force, you can call it, what else do people say? I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. The energy, the energy that you look for, the energy that you're searching for, the energy that you believe, that you feel, that you know is there, that energy that makes up who you are, makes up your soul, that you feel, that you experience, that you've had synchronicities about, that you've lived through, that you felt the static, you felt the energy that's not like any other kind of energy. It's not like a drug-induced thing. It's not adrenaline. It's a peaceful wave of something. It's a deeper intelligence. It comes from somewhere. Sometimes you feel it come from within. Sometimes you get some kind of message, an intuition, an intuitive message from your higher self. All of that is an energy, right? We experience that energy. When you go through a spiritual awakening process, you begin to feel that energy. Depending now upon what kind of person you are, how you integrate different ideas, is then when you start to get this sort of intelligence that there is something beyond you. And then you start to label it. Then you say, it's the universe, it's God, it's spirit, it's the force, it's X, Y, or Z. Doesn't matter what you call it. What remains is that it's there. The deepest truth you can always return to is that energy is there. That there is energy, that there is something beyond the human mind. There is a deeper awareness of things. And the best way to know this is if you have ever wanted to change anything, if you've ever wanted to do anything, take any action, if you've ever wanted anything in your life, you will know that there's an awareness, because who is aware? When you have a thought and you're paying attention to your thoughts, right? You have these thoughts running through your head and you're not engaging with them, but you are listening to them. So who's listening to the thoughts? Consciousness. That's what's listening to the thoughts. Awareness. And then you have an awareness of that awareness, right? That's a deep truth that we can all return to. It's something that many people, much smarter, much wiser, much more well-groomed than myself, have been saying for hundreds and hundreds of years. And even today we have people like Eckhart Tolle who essentially says that. We have people like Sadhguru, you have the Dalai Lama. Regardless of what their individual truths or way of explaining it is to the rest of us, they always return to that base energy. That energy is always there. And I find that energy to be very, very powerful, a representation of a deep truth. And what happens is that we take that and we discover it as we grow. We keep discovering more things about it. We become aware of it, and then we try to control it. Okay, we try to use it. Naturally, we try to manifest things. We try to get the life that we want. We are aware of an energy and we see other people using it, and we think to ourselves, well, how come this person can get this, but I can't get this? What limitations do I have? What am I working through here? And we learn and we grow and we try to adapt and we try to use that energy that we feel to bring it into us. The problem comes when we start using labels, when we start calling something, right? When we start calling that energy God. Because what happens when you come up with such a word like God, such a powerful word, is that now there's an image, there's an idea, there's a force, there's a sort of entity or something, and that is now outside of you. You've relinquished your power, and you've said, even though you understand that there's a basic energy, you've said, well, this is God, this is source, this is the universe, this is a powerful thing, and you've already given it more power than you, because you've called it something, you've given it a name. You've said, this is powerful. This has the answers. This is responsible for my happiness, for my life. I need to use it to get what it is that I want, what I need. Okay? That's what happens. And what happens is a very subtle transition from where you're manifesting things on your own using your own energy, because it is, of course, your energy that is the same energy you've given power to. And then something happens and you sort of forget that, and because things get a little bit more difficult, life gets a little bit more harder, spiritual journey gets harder, the awakening process gets more difficult, challenges arise, shadow stuff you didn't know you had comes up to the surface, insecurities, fears, all sorts of stuff. It all comes up. And when that happens, when that occurs, we start experiencing turmoil, dark nights of the soul. We start going through things. We start feeling a little bit afraid, anxious, stressed. We don't know. We do things that we take leaps of faith on that don't necessarily work out, pan out the way we think they're gonna. We don't feel resonant with certain friends, with ideas, with beliefs, with certain drugs, with certain addictions, with certain foods, with certain places that we live, with family members. Things just change. And as we go through that shift, as it begins to take form and we go more into it, the subtle transition happens that eventually it gets so difficult that we begin to look elsewhere. We talk to spirit guides, we try to connect with them, we try to connect with angels, we see the angel numbers, we get messages, all sorts of stuff that we learn to rely on, because at a certain stage they're there to help. They're there to give you what you need, what you want, what will help you to continue. But what happens when things continue to get more difficult, when things continue to challenge you to grow, is that those things no longer provide the necessary nourishment that you need. But that subtle shift has already happened. It's already happened. You've already at some point decided that your spirit guides are the ones that have the answers. God is the one that has the answers. God is in control. The universe is in control. The universe has the answers. You must be positive at all times. You must be grateful at all times. You must you must be this very lawful person. You must act in a certain way. You must become spiritual. You must do this. Otherwise, the answers will not come to you. It's subtle, but it starts to happen. And it happened to me, and it happened to everyone that I've known on any kind of journey. And it happens to people in general. You don't even have to include spirituality or a belief system of faith at all. It happens that people give power to others. It happens in relationships. Again, something I've experienced. It happens in familiar relationships, family, friends. Again, personal experience. We give our powers to others. And the reason that we do that is because we don't know our power. And when we go through a spiritual journey, we're not really aware of how deep our power goes. Otherwise, it would have been very natural for us to never really have included anything else other than ourselves. We would have been enough in the first place. We would have said, oh, I know the answer. I get it. I can do this. I can manifest. It's me. It's all about confidence. It's all about searching for the truth, the answers within you, rather than looking for things, rather than looking for a spirit guide to give you the answer, rather than looking for a tarot reading to nourish you, rather than looking for a bunch of Instagram posts to inspire you, rather than looking for a bunch of teachers or spiritual advisors to give you all the answers so that you can make the next step. No. When you surrender to yourself, when you allow the natural divinity inside of you to take shape, to come out, to essentially be what it's supposed to be, that's when you start to see the truth. Okay? Because if we're calling something God, which is a word that I do not like, because it was invented by humans to identify something that could not be explained, as typically a white man, which is hilarious. When we use that word, what happens again is that if we're using that word, what will happen is that we'll discover God within us. Okay, God, quote unquote, so to speak, is experiencing you, and you are experiencing God. God is not a person. God is not a man. God is not a woman. God is an entity. And again, I don't like the word God, but I'm just using it for the understanding. It is everything. It's the energy that we feel. It's the energy before we label it. That is God. You are experiencing that energy, and that energy is experiencing you. I don't know what you think life is, but when you die, a shitty death, because you're probably going to die shittily. I'm probably going to get hit by a bus that has like a logo for God on it or something. And I'll probably die in Chicago like an asshole. But whatever shitty death I have, this life will still be going on. It will still exist. There'll still be this energy. This experience will still be here. So life exists separate. Life is existing and not existing at the same time, simultaneously. Right? It's a constant. It's just the dimension that we enter into. It's an Oculus Rift VR video game goggles that we're currently in. I'm not saying this is a video game. I'm saying it's the same experience as getting lost inside one of those fucky do headsets. Okay. I don't know if you ever used them before. I used them once. It's crazy. It's wild shit. You fucking lose all sense of your surroundings. Okay, so that's it. That's life. You're in life, and life is in you. Okay, so when you die, your shitty death, life continues to go on. This dimension, this existence still continues to move forward. It still continues to perpetuate itself. The universe is always expanding, always growing. So God, or the universe, is experiencing life as it is. And you are experiencing life as it is. So there's no need to give all of your power away. Your guides can't give you the answers to the deeper questions. For instance, if you're trying to figure out what to do, if you're trying to make a decision, if you're at a crossroads and you're not very confident, your guides and your angels of the universe or God or whatever, it's not going to give you the answer because or number one for my numerically favorite people, number one is that you are the same energy. Therefore, two, you already have the answers. So there is nothing that they can give you. There's nothing they can give you. Very rarely do you not have the answers. And if you don't have the answers, it's pretty much because there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, shit, it's the same thing as if you don't know the capital of Ethiopia. I mean, what the fuck are you going to do? Seriously, I mean, what are you, an asshole, an idiot because you don't know that? No, you just don't know. Maybe one day you will, maybe one day you won't, but it doesn't matter. The answers that you seek, more than likely, often are inside of you. And so when you place the power outside of you, when you give it up, when you start relying on another power, on another entity, no matter what experience you've had with it, it will begin to feel like it's punishing you. That you're constantly in this limbo state, that you constantly don't know what you're doing, that you constantly can't seem to get the answers, though you're praying, you're having all this faith. Please, spirit guides, please, guardian angel, please, you can call them by name. I know my spirit guides' names. But calling them doesn't help in the same way it used to, because before, when things weren't as difficult, I hadn't given all my power away. And then at some point things got very difficult and I began to rely on an outside power to take care of my interests, to take care of myself. Please, God, please, universe, please, source, please, whatever, please give me the things that I need. Please do this for me. Please take care of this energy. It's not like that. It's you. You decide. You're in charge of this. Now, there's certainly a need to surrender. You have to surrender in order to get that energy to you. You have to go back into the flow of things because you're not going to know the answers. Okay? I don't know the answers. I don't even know where I'm going to be in January. But I have to let go. I can't rely on a entity to give me the answers anymore because it's me. It's my choice. And it is your choice. We oftentimes on a spiritual journey, whatever that means to you, start living out a certain set of patterns of what we think we're supposed to do, what kind of person we think we're supposed to be, what kind of new life we're supposed to have, what kind of changes we should enable ourselves. And we start to try to control everything and force things to happen and force ourselves to change overnight and to constantly self-sabotage when we don't live up to our incredible expectations, and then we feel shitty and guilty because then we think to ourselves, well, the universe or God or whatever, we're doing such a shit job, how could they ever forgive us? And then we sabotage and we get back up and we do it all over again, and etc. and etc. Because it all starts with that transition, that subtle transition to giving power outside of you. I promise you guys, and I say this to myself as well, there is no need to rely on anything other than your own answers, your own intuition, your own power, and your own energy, your own spark, your own existence. Okay? That is who you really are. You are a powerful being. You are an energetic being. You can call that whatever you want. You can be a light worker, you can be a star seed. I resonate with star seed. You can be anything. You can be from Atlantis. I don't give a shit. I don't care where you're from. I don't even care where I'm from. What I do care about and what you should care about is how you feel. And the better that you can feel, the more in line with your power, the more understanding you are of your power, the more understanding you are of yourself, of your energy, of what you can accomplish, what you can do, what kind of magic you can work in your life. That surrendering, that flow, that bliss, that happiness, that joy, that childlike amazement, that wonderment. When you can do that for yourself, the same kind of feeling that you get when you hear a really great song and you start picturing stuff in your head, and when you daydream, and when you see something really cool, if you can put that energy, if you can focus that energy naturally and allow that to come from within and exist on the outside, that's when you start to see your life unfold. That's when you feel that love, that magic. That is who you are. You are that feeling. You are that energy. You are that power. The first step, or the only step, to really getting back into that is to stop giving your power away. Now, on a human level, we have to do that with other people. We have to learn how to say no. We have to set boundaries. And I think 2020 has been a very big year for that. Spiritually, however, with our own spiritual process and our faith, in order to stop becoming disillusioned and stop losing faith constantly and just having hope, which is a dangerous thing to have, then, stop those kinds of things. It's sort of, it just really hurts. You have to stop. You have to stop doing those things, because I got derailed with my train of thought because hope is a dangerous thing. It's, if you're always hoping for something, there's a doubt that it can't come true, right? So faith is different than hope, and you have to have faith in something. So if you want to avoid your disillusionment, don't have faith in the universe, don't have faith in God, don't have faith in source, have faith in yourself, because it's the same thing. And you'll have all the answers that you need because you'll be trusting yourself. You have to take care of yourself. So spiritually, if you want to avoid all that other bullshit, look to yourself first, look to the other things second. Okay? Use your spiritual labels and your way of looking and identifying with things as ways to as sort of like way markers in your journey, as sort of helpful little points, as little campfires you can save progress at. But look to yourself as a navigation tool. Look to yourself as your own compass, as your own star, because it is you who's essentially moving through this concept of time. Okay, this is you right now watching this video, and in 2 minutes when this video is over, you will be right here. All right? 2 minutes ago, we were right here. So you're moving through time, but who you are is this powerful, powerful energy being. And when you connect to that, when you believe that, that's when all the magic that you've ever wanted will happen. So please, I implore you and myself, stop relying on outside sources to give you all of your happiness and power and your knowledge and your intuition and your wisdom and your next step and all that other shit. Don't do it, because if you keep doing it, eventually you'll end up like me and you'll be forced to surrender. And no matter what, you're going to be forced to surrender at some point. Life is just going to fucking do that to you. So may as well get it out of the way now, guys. So I hope this video helped. It isn't an attack on anybody's personal beliefs. I don't really care if you think God is a person. I mean, he isn't, but I don't care if you do think that. It's just, you shouldn't have to give all your power to anything, regardless of how personally attached you are to it. And this is coming from somebody who was really, really attached to this spiritual journey and guides and all this other kind of stuff. But really, if you think about it from the perspective of a higher being, would they want to do everything for you, or would they want you to figure out yourself? So if that's the inevitable outcome anyway, then it makes sense that all the power would be inside of you, right? And what's that old stupid saying that people say? Would you rather lead a horse to something and shoot a cow in the head? I don't know. What is it? Fuck that one. The fish one's a better one. Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Not an American, but give a man a fish and he eats for a day, and give a man a fishing pole and he learns how to fish and gives up halfway because fishing's boring. You get the metaphor. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, guys, we'll talk soon. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday. See you guys. Bye-bye.